YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another Washington Commanders video. And in today's video, I'm coming on here with a video where we're going to be talking about some more breaking news regarding the Washington Commanders making more cuts and also an owner update. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the NFL, or in this case, our Washington Commanders. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Now, let's get straight into today's video. So, as you guys know, earlier I came onto the channel and made a video on Bobby McCain. All season is in full effect. All right, cuts are about to start happening. As you can see, they're already happening. A free agency is a couple weeks away. You can start placing the franchise tags on players here soon. So we should be on the lookout for that. But more of the story is off season is here. It started. And the Washington Commanders make two moves. Really one for me, but two moves that is going to benefit them with the cap space. Now, one move is not necessarily surprising, but I wasn't really expecting it, and that was Bobby McCain earlier, okay? Check out that video if you haven't already, but quickly, we cut Bobby McCain, saved about $4.5 million towards the cap, and again, quickly, I have no feelings towards it. I wasn't the biggest Bobby McCain fan, but since he came back, I wasn't mad that he came back, but I wasn't hurt that he got cut. Simple as that. But then the second guy, Carson Wentz, we already knew he was gone, okay? We already knew he was gone after the terrible season that he had. All right, this was a one-year rental. We already knew back when we traded for this guy. This was a one-year rental to see what he can do. All right, a lot of us still to this day regret trading for Carson Wentz because of what we had to give up. We as fans could have gotten. We realized that we could have got this guy as a free agent because the Colts were going to cut him regardless. But we decided to trade for him, and I know looking back on that trade, Ron Rivera is probably like, hey, man, I probably should have waited. But he was being desperate. He was being desperate for a quarterback last year. So he was trying to do whatever he can to get a quarterback. But again, looking back on it, he probably like, I should never even sacrificed a draft pick for this guy. He was terrible. We could have easily got him as a free agent. But let's read the article on ESPN that is posted by one Washington Commanders insider, John Keim of ESPN. So let's go ahead and put that up here for you guys so you can take a long look while I read. So it says the Washington Commanders are releasing quarterback Carson Wentz on Monday, and a move that has been long expected. The move saves Washington $26.176 million on the salary cap this offseason. Wentz had 2 years remaining on his contract, but no guaranteed money. The Commanders also released defensive back Bobby McCain on Monday to save $2.32 million on the salary cap. If he's designated as a post-June 1st release, the Commanders would have saved $4.42 million. Okay, so quickly to retract that, and we're only getting $2 million for Bobby McCain. Okay, so that's a little confusing because remember we waited for Landon Collins to be a post-June 1 cut to save more money. I wonder why we didn't do that for Bobby McCain. Probably we wanted to allow Bobby McCain to hit free agency and go sign another team, just probably because his contract wasn't as massive as a Landon Collins. So that's probably why, because it's like measly little $2 million. We ain't gonna hold you to June 1st, even though when we know we want to cut you. So we're just gonna let you go ahead now. So that's why we did that. So re-correcting my words, it is $2.3 million instead of 4.42. It would have been 4.42 if it was a post June 1st cut. Wentz can now sign with any team before the start of free agency. Frank Reich, his former coach with the Indianapolis Colts, also his ex-offensive coordinator with the Philadelphia Eagles, is now the head coach of the Carolina Panthers. It's possible that the Carolina Panthers could serve as a landing spot for Wentz in a backup role. Washington ended up trading 2 third-round picks and swapping second-round picks in 2022 to acquire Wentz in the Indianapolis Colts last offseason. But after throwing a combined 7 touchdown passes in his first 2 outings, Wentz and the Commanders' offense struggled. The team scored a combined 55 points in the first 2 games, but only 47 over his next 4 starts. The offensive line did not protect him well, and the run game during that stretch was inconsistent at best. He broke his right ring finger in a Week 6 win over the Chicago Bears, sidelined him for the next 8 games. He returned playing in the final 2 series in 37-20 loss at the San Francisco 49ers on December 25th, and Washington started him the next week, but he was ineffective, completing 16 of 28 passes for 143 yards and 3 interceptions in the 24-10 loss of the Cleveland Browns. He was named the third-string quarterback for the finale. Wentz, the number 2 overall pick in 2016, was traded by Philadelphia in the 2021 offseason after losing his starting job to Jalen Hurts. He lasted 1 season as the Colts starter. He threw 27 touchdowns and over 7 interceptions with the Colts. In 7 seasons and 92 starts, Wentz has thrown 151 touchdowns, passes to 66 interceptions. Injuries has disrupted his career. He tore his ACL, left ACL in 2017, spoiling what many considered an MVP season, and he hurt his back the next year. So that's the end of the article there on Carson Wentz. Shout out to John Kahn. Now, here's the biggest thing, right? Here's the biggest thing is that Washington now is going to have some money to now use on other people in other places, whether that's re-signing Deron Payne, whether that's going out to make a big splash in free agency. We now have some money. I think we're going to be at roughly like around maybe like $35 million now. We'll see what the official number will be in a couple of days, but right now I'm just making an assumption and a reasonable guess, and I'm going to say $35 million in cap space right now. Again, as we know, the biggest blow really was the Cleveland game, because it wasn't that Ron started him that was the issue. It was the fact that he kept him in after he was terrible. All right, Carson Wentz was not good. Was the offensive line good throughout the year? No, it wasn't. Was the running game good? Was Scott Turner good? No, he wasn't. But Carson Wentz was not good. Okay, and it was crazy because after the first two games, we thought we may have finally found our quarterback. Although in both of those games we got both sides of Carson Wentz, the good Wentz and the bad Wentz, we still had a sense of like feeling that, yeah, hey, maybe we did find our quarterback finally after so many years since Kirk Cousins left. But it turned out to be yet another season where Washington is going to be in the quarterback wilderness, but we're hoping and praying that Sam Howell can be our savior. Again, no hate towards Wentz at all. He's a good man. He's a Christian. He's a believer in Jesus Christ. So no ill will towards him. Okay, I hope he goes ahead and find work somewhere else. He probably will end up in Carolina at worst, a backup. Who knows? Maybe he even gets another shot to start, because again, with Frank Reich as his coach, he has always been successful. Okay, in Philly, he was successful under Frank Reich. In Indianapolis for that 1 year, he was successful with Frank Reich as his head coach. Okay, so now that Frank Reich is in Carolina, okay, and Wentz has been successful under Reich, I would not be surprised if they go ahead and get Carson Wentz. Now, I believe Carolina may be in a position to get a young guy, so I'm not saying he's going to be their starter, but what I'm saying is I think he's going to go to Carolina as the backup. All right, but if Carolina is another place, I just hope he finds work. Okay, I hope he finds work, man. Because again, this is a guy. Even though he was an Eagle, and I didn't like him because he was an Eagle and he was so good for them, we cannot deny greatness at one point. This guy was really good, man. He used to tear us up. Single-handedly, and injuries derailed his career, bro. And it's definitely unfortunate to see that happen to a guy like Carson Wentz, but I hope he can bounce back at some point. You know, maybe not as a starter. Maybe he won't ever bounce back and get back to his 2016-17 self. But I just hope he can find a role that he's comfortable and fine with, and he can still play the game that he loves. But yeah, man, that is it for that. Now let's talk about this owner news. So it was news that came out today regarding Dan Snyder. And it said that the owners could vote to have Dan Snyder relinquished as the Washington Commanders owner, because there is more news that Dan Snyder is trying to sue the NFL if they don't if they don't if they won't give him no other way out. So let me go ahead and actually pull up the article for you so we can go ahead and take a look at it. The Washington Post, of course, is trying to make me pay for this. I'm not going to pay for this. So let me go ahead and find somewhere else. Bleacher Report. There we go. Shout out to Bleacher Report. So let's go ahead and take a look at this article now on Dan Snyder. So it says this. So if the Washington Commanders owner Dan Snyder is going to sell the team, he reportedly wants an assurance from the NFL and other team owners that he will not face future legal liability. According to Mark Mask and Nikki Giavala and Liz Clark of the Washington Post, Snyder and attorneys have demanded such some communication and could sue if it is not guaranteed. Yet such demand have angered some owners and renewed discussion about the possibility of taking a vote to remove him from ownership of the Commanders. One source said the owner sees such effort as ridiculous and absurd and thinks Snyder should be the one providing them legal implementations. I know I butchered that word. I don't even care. As his organization continues to face investigations. This comes after Seth Wickamp, Don Van Natta Jr., and Tisha Thompson of ESPN reported in October that Snyder paid for investigators to dig into NFL commissioners Roger Goodell and on other team owners and gather enough information to blow up some of his colleagues. The ESPN report noted Dan Snyder said privately, they can't F with me. Snyder announced in November he retained Bank of America securities to help explore a potential sale of the team. Yet one of the sources in the Washington Post said other owners would definitely plan on voting to remove him if a sale does not happen. The vote will require at least 3 owners to the vote will require at least 3/4 of the owners to support his removal. Washington Post reports also said Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones is seen as someone who is an ally for Snyder amongst the league and is attempting to broker a peace by which Snyder would sell the Commanders and leave the NFL without further democracy. So we're just going to stop there. That's all I want to show you guys, pretty much. And that's what it is. So Dan Snyder is not going down without a fight, and he never does. So we didn't. For people that thought out there that this was going to be an easy departure of Snyder, no, he's not going down without a fight. Now I hope he doesn't get any kind of reassurance or guarantees from the NFL that if he sells this team, he won't face future punishments or liability or future lawsuits. Rather, I don't care about that. I hope the NFL doesn't allow him to do that because he needs to be whatever. If anything that he's done is true, since being the owner, he needs to face it. Okay, he needs to own up to it. So I hope the NFL doesn't bite. I hope the NFL stands their ground, and I hope these owners vote this man out if he just doesn't sell this team. So that's a quick update on the owner thing. He's not going down without a fight, so it's not going to be easy to get rid of him, but we're still going to get rid of him. So let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. There you have it. As always, it's me and boy Juan Gotti. Like, comment, subscribe. Hail to the Washington Commanders. We want to go to 6,000 subscribers, so please hit that subscribe button again if you haven't already. Thank you so much. See you guys next time. Come on. Peace. Cross me one time, that's gonna get you popped. Get you popped, get you dropped.